Good morning. I'm County Executive Bruce Blakeman of Nassau County. I am here today as the great-grandson of great-grandparents Morris and Rose Blakeman, who emigrated to the United States from Odessa in the Ukraine. I'm also here as the county executive of a great county of 1.4 million people, many of whom can trace their ancestry to the Ukraine. We have seen what has unfolded in the last couple of weeks, and it is something that is heartbreaking. It makes us angry. It makes us sad. It makes us motivated to do something and not just sit on our sofa and let things unfold without us taking part in what is clearly a struggle between good and evil. We are doing a small part here, but if we do this across the United States, this can be something that is of tremendous help to the people of the Ukraine, to the peace-loving people of the Ukraine. In the United States, we have over 300 million legal guns. If we could just get 0.3% of those guns to the Ukraine with donations from the American people, legal gun owners, we could get 1 million guns to the people of the Ukraine. There are people that will scoff at what we're doing here today. Well, I want you to think about the French resistance in World War II, where citizens took up arms against the Nazis in France. I want you to think about the Polish partisans in World War II who took up arms against the Nazis in Poland. I want you to think of the Warsaw Uprising, where the Jewish people said that they would choose the place and time of their death, not the Nazis. And they fought a fierce battle against the Nazis, but ran out of weapons and ammunition to protect themselves. We think about the Bielski brothers and the partisans that rose up in Poland and Czechoslovakia. These were ordinary citizens that were being invaded by a foreign country, Nazis, who were creating a path of destruction. We can't help but think about how this is so similar to 1939, when the Nazis invaded Poland, but nobody stopped them. Nobody gave the Polish people the weapons to defend themselves. President Zelensky, for the last few days, has been begging for weapons, begging for help. How can we sit by silently and not do our part? I have heard from people throughout Nassau County, throughout the region, and throughout America. They want to help. They want to help these people. They're in a desperate life and death battle. We're not asking a lot. We're asking that you come to SP Firearms over the course of the next 4 days, and you contribute your weapon, your legal weapon. It must be a long weapon, a rifle, a shotgun, an AR-15 or a derivative of the AR-15. If you don't have a weapon and you still want to help, buy a weapon. Jerry will be happy to safeguard this weapon and any other weapons that we get contributed until we can get the American government to ship those weapons to the Ukraine. We are doing this without any cost to the taxpayer. This is our donation. This is our contribution. We will collect them. President Biden, you get him there. You answer President Zelensky's call, because we've seen what's happened before. This is nothing new. We've seen it throughout the course of history. We've seen the Holocaust. Vladimir Putin is calling President Zelensky a Nazi. He is calling a Jew a Nazi. And he's using that as his justification for the invasion of the Ukraine. It's a big lie. We all know it's a big lie, because while he is saying that, Russian troops have bombed Babi Yar, the Ukrainian memorial to the Holocaust, where tens of thousands of Jews were killed. Don't believe the big lie. It's naked aggression, and it must be stopped. From Friday, this Friday, tomorrow, from 10:30 to 7 p.m., Saturday, 10:30 to 7 p.m., Sunday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Monday from 11 to 5, Jerry Sperduto and his staff will be collecting long rifles, again, rifles, long arms. We do not want handguns. We want rifles, AR-15s, and shotguns. They will be collected here and stored safely and legally until they can be legally transferred to the people of the Ukraine. We need working guns. Do not bring us a gun that needs repair. Do not bring them loaded. They must be unloaded. Do not bring ammunition at this time. We are still figuring out how to legally store ammunition. And we're hoping that we have that problem solved shortly. But we know that if we can get the guns there, there'll be a way to get the ammunition. In order to be able to donate your gun, you must bring it here again, unloaded. You must have photo ID. You will be given a written receipt for your donation. At this time, I would like to bring up someone who I met just a few days ago. He had tears in his eyes. He asked us to do something. I asked him, what do you need? He said, we need everything. But mostly, we need weapons so our people can fight. I'd like to bring up our representative here in Nassau County of the Ukrainian American Chamber of Commerce, Misha Migdal. Misha?
Thank you, Bruce. Your words are absolutely priceless. They're giving a hope. I don't want to sound like begging or asking for something abnormal. As we speak, my phone is ringing right now. People telling me that the country is going to be destroyed. These people fighting there, not just for their lives, they fighting for, probably resonates with every normal American. They're fighting for their freedom, for they exist as a free people in their own country, under their own will. What happens right now with Ukraine, they're fighting like a lions, but they're fighting by themselves. It's unimaginable what's going on there. It's unimaginable how people with the rifles and the guns, without any self-protection, stopping the tanks, artillery, murders, and they still do it. And they still do it by themselves. And the world is sitting as Bruce mentioned, on his sofa and just watching it and giving a nice statements. I don't know what else has to happen. I don't know what world has to see. What else can turn the world's feelings to these people? And all they want is a freedom. They went 30 years a free country without the communism, without the Soviets, and this whole generation grew up there, were raised under the feeling of the freedom. And now it seems like the evil is coming back. Bruce was absolutely right by saying there's such a similarity what happened in Europe in 1997, which is my family was involved in a bad sign of that. My father, in the age of 16, started his war with the Nazis and ended his war with the Japanese in August of 1945. He was not very exposed to that or telling me a lot, but I've seen his eyes when he was talking about this. People of Ukraine asking right now for everything, and Bruce is absolutely right, but probably the most important thing is close the skies. They can fight. They can fight like a lions, tanks, soldiers, whatever the weapon they came in. But how are you going to fight ballistic missiles? How are you going to fight when the vacuum missile is landed in Kharkiv and 90% of that city is destroyed? It's worse than Second World War. I don't know what else has to happen, what world has to see in order to understand the nation is going to be destroyed. I don't want to start giving the historical accidents where U.S. invaded and got involved with country not being NATO. It was a pure business interest. And I was the one that's receiving the bombs in Israel when the U.S. was taking over Kuwait and over Saddam. We were sitting there and receiving those missiles in Israel because we understood that's the way, that's our price to be free and to be out of evil. Ukrainian people pay such a price right now that's unimaginable. So whatever you can do, do it. Do it now, because it might be no tomorrow. Thank you.
Spell your name for that.
Just 1 second, let me come down.
While Misha is composing himself, and you heard it, we are now going to hear from my good friend. He represents the Ukrainian American Society here on Long Island, and he has been out every single day since the beginning of this crazy, senseless war of Vladimir Putin. Another Vladimir, but our Vladimir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm joined just last minute to tell everybody how strong people of Ukraine feel about the support we are giving them. So we heard about thousands, if not millions, of Ukrainians already left the country, and that was done because of the inventions that the Russian Federation is doing right now. And we, as a community here, local community, a small group of people on Long Island, trying to do our best to help them. We organize rallies, and we 100% support the initiative of the county executive to arm Ukrainian army. They need to be able to fight and survive this aggression, and we want to do it in a responsible manner. And the plan that county executive Mr. Blakeman just laid out in front of us is the one that Ukrainian Americans here on Long Island support 100%. I want to tell that people of Ukraine have a tremendous resilience and tremendous patriotism. The way this disaster united us is unprecedented. We never saw anything like that. And we see the support and continuous effort to end this war. We want the war ended as soon as possible. But we need to get prepared for unimaginable circumstances. So again, that needs to be done responsibly, and it needs to be done in the way that that people of Ukraine not suffering that much and not die. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Vladimir, spell your name.
Volodymyr, Volodymyr. Last name T as in Tom, S as in Sam, Yalkovsky. Thank you. Ukrainian Americans of Long Island.
Thank you very much, Vladimir. Misha spells his name Misha, last name Migdal. Okay, so when we decided that we had to do something and we started exploring what needed to be done, and I want to thank Commissioner Pat Ryder of the Nassau County Police Department who assisted us in the technicalities and legalities. And I want to thank the county attorney's office as well. We realized that we needed to do this through a licensed firearm dealer, that was the only way that we could collect the weapons. So we reached out through friends to Jerry Sperduto of SP Firearms here in Franklin Square, real close to where I grew up in Valley Stream, and he was excited. He was on board from day one. He's guided us through all the legalities, and he's someone that's an American patriot. Because remember, I am the son of not one, but 2 World War II veterans. My mother joined the Army. When you see how many Americans, men and women, lost their life in World War II, we don't want that to happen again. We want this over now. The Ukrainian people want to protect themselves. So let's give them the resources to do that. So this doesn't develop into a European war and a world war. So Jerry, please come forward and say a few words, and thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Jerry Sperduto, owner of SP Firearms. We are honored to be asked by Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman and his office to assist in the aid of the Ukrainian people by providing a service to accept firearm donations. We, as a dealer in firearms, will perform the transfers to acquire any long rifles or shotguns that lawful citizens would wish to donate to the cause of the self-defense for the people of Ukraine. Our process will be the acceptance of the firearm from its owner. We will provide them with a document of proof that the gun is out of their possession. I would like to thank Nassau County, its Executive Bruce Blakeman, and Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder for visiting us today and involving us in their admirable cause. Thank you. Jerry, Jerry, Sperduto, S as in Sam, P as in Peter, ER, D as in David, U, T as in Tom, O.
Thank you very much, Jerry.
Thank you.
You're awesome. So as we started this effort, I began to hear from people from all walks of life, and there's a guy that I became very familiar with over the last few months. He's a Navy veteran. He's for all causes that are good for America. And this is not just good for the Ukraine. This is good for America. Freedom-loving people, the fight against evil by good people. And Brian has been very busy collecting money from residents and businesses throughout the area and across the country, and he's got a presentation that he wants to make to us. Brian Valenza, Navy veteran.
Thank you. As a Navy veteran, I had the honor to serve our country. As I now move in for over a decade now into Nassau County as a Nassau County resident, I find often opportunities to serve those who serve. Under great leadership, as we have been demonstrated here by Bruce, as well as Commissioner Ryder and my friends at the Long Island Chaplains Task Force, we found an opportunity to give the citizens my neighbors, our friends, local business owners, an opportunity to give. There's a lot of people now in the Ukraine who have asked our friends and other fellow patriots to help them, specifically American citizens and women and children, to find safe refuge either within Ukraine or outside. There's missions like Project Dynamo and others out there that are bringing people out. But what we've seen is the brave people that Michelle and Vladimir had mentioned earlier, they want to fight. And it's the least that we can do and our local community do is to help them best we can with supplies, and in this case, munitions, thanks to Jerry and his efforts. So on behalf of the Long Island Chaplains Task Force, we'd like to donate $25,000 to the effort that Bruce and SB Firearms has put forth. Come on forward.
Jerry? With that, any questions?
County Executive, if the president, you said it's up to Biden then to get the guns to Ukraine. If that doesn't work out, is there a backup plan? Is there another way you can get them?
We will explore all legal avenues to get these weapons to the Ukraine. But I stress legal. We are legal, law-abiding citizens who want to help out. There is a tremendous amount of red tape in trying to get this to the Ukraine. So we're going to need the president's help. We're going to need the help of our partners in federal government. We'll do our part. You do your part.